Happy Monday, dreamers. We are officially on week 9. Y'all have done it. This was not an easy program by far. We started with over 60 people, and we are down to about 8 of y'all that are still in the program. So that alone speaks volumes. Um, this week is one of my most favorite weeks because it really ties in everything that you've been learning in this program. And what I like about this week and finishing out the week like this is we're talking about leadership. And if you were taking the initiative to commit to this program, then that means you already have leadership in your um, projection of what you're wanting to do in this business. And leadership is honestly the biggest part of this business. Yes, you can do well in this business, working on your own and, doing sales, but long term, this business is about building a team, being an amazing leader. We all have our different reasonings of wanting to be successful in this business, but one of the biggest perks when it comes to this business is residual income. And in order to have residual income, that means to be able to have income while you're sleeping, when you're not working, is that you are being an amazing leader, you're building an amazing team, and that you are able to still have a successful business even when you might need to step away, either for personal fun or, because life happens and things come up and you need to step away for a little bit. So this week, week 9, is really about your leadership qualities, helping those under you become better in this business and even becoming better leaders themselves, in the mindset of being arrows out. If you guys have not already seen Orville's keynote speech on Arrows Out, I will be sure to post it this week. It's probably one of my favorite speeches that he has ever done. And it really goes back to the focus of giving more than you take. And when it comes to leadership, if you don't have that mindset, plain as day, without sugarcoating it, you're not going to go very far in this business. When it comes to giving more than you take, I always think back to the frog in the well warmer. Actually, let me grab it really fast so you guys can actually see, because if you haven't seen the speech by Orville, or if you haven't seen this warmer, then it's going to be kind of hard to understand what I'm talking about. So let me grab it really quickly. Alright, so you guys have probably, if you've been around for a little bit, have heard about the infamous frog in the well warmer. Now, this is probably one of the most sought out warmers, and what it was is after Orville gave his speech in regards to giving more than you take, this was actually the warmer that was given. And then after this, actually, I think while he was on stage, I wasn't around when this one actually happened, so I'm not for sure. So I've just been told stories. But I was told that after this set of warmers was made, that the mold was actually smashed. So this warmer can never be made again. And I'm going to read it because, as you can see, there's his little quote on the back. And I want to read this to you guys because I feel like this really incorporates and ties into this week, this final week of the program. And it says, in all aspects of our lives, we are frogs in a well. In some areas, we may be on top of the well with great understanding and freedom, trying to encourage others to work hard enough to get out of their well. In other areas, we are frogs at the bottom of the well, looking up and thinking we understand, when in fact, we only grasp a shadow of reality. In all cases, we come to a position of understanding and freedom by subjecting ourselves to self-improving work. We must work to get understanding. We must strive for freedom. The more you work on building your dream, the greater your understanding and freedom becomes. Sometimes it is hard. The walls get slippery, don't they? But I can promise you it is worth it. And oh, the party we will have when you reach the top and we look down together at the journey you have made. I promise you I'll be here working tirelessly to help you make it to the top. Climb the wall. Orville, 2010. So, if you haven't heard this story yet, what it is there is a little frog that is at the bottom. Where's it? Oh, there they are. There is a little frog, this one, that's at the bottom of the well. with all the other frogs down there, but he keeps hearing a little voice, and it keeps saying to climb and to climb higher and to climb higher, and keeps giving the encouragement and the encouragement to keep pushing and striving, because like the quote on the back says, the walls are slippery. It's not an easy task to get up to the top, but if you're persistent and you keep trying over and over and over, then eventually you will make it to the top. And what happened was, once the little frog got to the top, there was this other frog here. And that's when it clicked. It clicked that it wasn't just some voice from up above encouraging him. It was another frog up here that was guiding and encouraging the other little frog to help guide its way up the well. So Orville likes to say that once you become into the leadership role, what you become is you become this frog right here. And you are looking down, so think of this other frog down here as one of your team members. And what you're doing is you're guiding them. You're not doing the work for them. Please remember that. That is a huge piece of this. You're not doing the work for them. You're not reaching down and giving them the rope to climb up. Would that be easier? Yes. But then would it be worth it? No, because then they didn't do the work themselves to get up there. But once this little frog got up to the top, one, they were both able to look down the well and look at the journey that they've both had overcame. And then eventually this little frog takes off. He's like, all right, I've done my part. You know what to do. You've done this journey. Now it's your time to be the frog at the top of the well and to yell down and to encourage the next little frog to come up. Perfect analogy when it comes to leadership. So I definitely wanted to share that with you guys. So leadership looks different for every single person. We all have our own different qualities and strengths and even weaknesses when it comes to leadership. For me, my strength is that I've overcame a lot of the obstacles so that I know it's doable. So I have a lot of excitement and I can see the possibilities in people. But where that downfall comes from, and I think a lot of you guys have that same downfall, is that sometimes we want it more than the people that we are trying to lead or mentor. And so once you get to that point and you identify the strengths and the weaknesses of your leadership, and sometimes, let me tell you, that's not an easy task, to sit back and self-reflect and be like, okay, what am I doing? I wouldn't say it's wrong, but what am I doing that's not being effective? What can I do better? That's when you start seeing personal growth in yourself. The self-reflection of learning to take a step back and be like, okay, just because they're not succeeding doesn't mean that I'm doing something wrong or bad. That just means that maybe this person learns a different way. Maybe I need to show them a different method or a different technique. Or when it comes to our business, for me, social media is my strength. So when I'm guiding and encouraging and I'm able to give tips and success for social media, that's a really easy task for me. But some people are not good with social media. So then I have to sit back and I'm like, okay, this consultant, this downline, they prefer to do home parties. Am I strong in home parties? Absolutely not. But I have enough resources amongst Sensi, whether it's the workstation, whether it's the team page, whether it's YouTube, that I can take a step back and I can admit that, hey, house parties, home parties, Facebook parties, any of those are not really my strong suit, but I can guide you. I can share with you, like that frog at the top, of directing you in the direct way of, here's a tool that you might be able to use, or here's a leader that I know that is really strong in this area that you're wanting to excel in. Let's see if you can learn from this person. It is very, very hard in this business, especially if you're used to being fully in control, I would say it that way, to kind of loosen the reins and be okay with your up and coming leaders not always connecting with you or being able to learn from you. But that's one of the biggest, I would say, qualities that sets Sensi apart, is that we are a community and we learn and we are better together. And you're going to hear that a lot because it's really becoming part of our culture, that there's so many amazing leaders out here that other consultants can learn from, that it doesn't have to be from you. They can learn from some of the other stronger consultants amongst the company, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you're a bad leader. If anything, if you're able to point them in that direction and help them as a leader to learn from another leader, if anything, I feel like that speaks volumes for you. You can never have too much encouraging. You can never have too many people helping train your team. Um, and I think that that is one of the biggest amazing perks of our business. Um, so, with that being said, this week's guest speakers is one of my all-time favorites. She has been one of the people that has inspired me so much in my own journey, and she is actually the creator of this program that we are doing right now. So later this week, on Wednesday, we are actually going to have Stacy Behringer coming in and sharing her ideas and thoughts around this week's topic, which is leadership. And then again, this is the last week of this program. So that means that we are going to be finishing out all of the homework assignments, which means make sure you guys have your one recruit to graduate. Make sure you are getting your PRV in. And then for this week's homework assignments, it's really, really easy. It's really just about that self-reflection that I was just talking about a couple minutes ago. I want y'all to list on the homework post for this week, after watching this live and Stacy's live, and recognize what are your strong qualities as a leader. What do you pride yourself on? You know, whether it's team recognition, whether it's being able to help your team members identify their weak areas in their business and helping them pivot into another one. And then the second part is to see where, this is going to be the hard one, where your weaknesses in your business. I don't want to say failures, because if a failure means that you've stopped. I mean, you're obviously not stopping. You're doing this program, so obviously you're trying to grow. Identify your weak areas as a leader and what you're going to do to try to improve those areas to become a better leader, not just for yourself, but your team. So again, I am super proud of you guys for making it this far. This is definitely not an easy program whatsoever, but you guys have done it. I look forward to seeing you guys all finish out this program strong and getting out these graduation certificates and achievement recognitions for y'all. So if you guys have any questions about this final week or anything about the rest of the program, please feel free to reach out to me or to your leader that added you to this group. Other than that, I hope you guys all have an amazing week, an amazing end of the month, and I hope you guys all celebrate Memorial Day today. So have a good day, everybody.